Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with the Ship With Me. These are orders that came through over the weekend. Kind of a slower weekend, some great sales, some interesting pieces that I can't wait to talk about, but just kind of overall a slow weekend, which is interesting because the previous weekend was insanely good. Such is this world. But to be totally honest, I was not great with all of my listing and relisting the past couple days. I just had stuff going on, so I'm sure that also has a lot to do with it. But either way, I'm excited to kind of share with you what sold, how long I had it for, why I picked it up, what I ended up selling it for, just really kind of bringing you into that part of the process for me. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I'm Julia, that is my name. We talk all things thrifting, vintage, and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, it is Monday. It is kind of late in the afternoon. That sun is getting low and I'm running late. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipment. So the first item we have here are these super cute tortoise aviator sunglasses. These are from my own closet. The company is in Australia, and I haven't been able to find them in store anywhere here in the States, so I ordered them and they were having a buy one, get one free sale. So I ordered 2 pairs and the goal was to I basically have the same exact pair with a slightly different color lens. So my goal was just to kind of make the money back on these that I spent on them, which is exactly what I did. They're super cute. I love them. Brand is Vehla, V-E-H-L-A, and they're just the perfect tortoise aviators. They're ridiculous. I absolutely love them. Unfortunately, these sold on eBay, and we unfortunately just did this big breakdown of boxes. So I have no small boxes for these. So I'm going to do my best to kind of pad this with paper and put it in a poly mailer. Isn't it always that way? The day. So we're gonna wrap it. I have some of this zero fill from something else that came in. We got rid of the boxes, but not the zero fill, so go figure. But this should give a good amount of cushioning around the actual box because of the crinkle on it. I would say to keep your eyes out for this brand because this did sell in hours. I just don't know how often you're gonna find it. Certainly at the thrift. I think they're a fairly new company, but in case you're interested in buying some tortoise aviators, check them out. They're great. Quality is really nice. So anyway, I basically listed these for $148 and they popped through, like I said, within hours, full price sale at $148. Effectively, I've made no money on this because that's about what I paid for them. But in case you do find them, or in case you have a pair laying around that you're not wearing, that's about what they're going for. Next up, we have the most gorgeous bundle of dresses, a springtime is here situation. And the first one we have here, and I have this untied, this bust ties here. This is a linen blend. I believe it's about a midi length dress and it's gorgeous kind of goldenrod color. This whole order, this whole bundle feels very Italian coast to me. Any one of these pieces is right at home in Amalfi, eating gelato, sipping some wine at the sunset. Also, take me there, take me with you. This was from a brand called Canella, which I had never heard of before. All the finishing on it was really nice. It seemed pretty high end, but I couldn't find anything online about the brand. So I don't know if it was a boutique brand. I'm just gonna leave these open so they don't get creasy at the wrong place. So let me know if you are familiar with that brand. Again, I'd never heard of it before, but the quality was really nice. The finishing, the branding on it was nice. It had an engraved nameplate on the side. Anyway, next up, and I knew that this was gonna be a super quick sale. This is from Zara. This is a linen, oversized midi shirt dress. Pure white. This is just as easily at home as a swim cover up as it is as a little dress. And it's funny, when the bundle offer came through, I literally just pulled this off of the clothesline. It has been beautiful the last couple days here in Los Angeles. Right now it's 75 and sunny. I'm almost warm in my sweatshirt. So anytime I have that kind of luxury, I do like to dry things on the line. So I pulled it off the line and it was just extra crispy. You know how linen can get when you air dry it? So I got it steamed up and ready to go for it. It's still a little crisp, but it will definitely soften up with wear within a half an hour. But this is the kind of thing from Zara. I'm very selective with what I pick up from Zara, but when I see linen pieces like that, especially a linen shirt dress, especially a white, crisp linen midi length shirt dress, I can't jump on that fast enough. And then finally, okay, this dress. I love this dress so much. So I'm gonna get really niche here. Okay, first of all, this is from Joie. This is linen. It's like kind of like almost maxi length. It hits just about ankle depending on height. It's a full button down, so you can have it like unbuttoned a little bit for a little bit more flirty. You can have it a little bit more buttoned up. Again, can you not see all three of these things in the Amalfi Coast? So here's my weird niche thing when I first saw this dress. There's this movie called Monte Carlo. It is girly, guilty pleasure fluff. Selena Gomez, Leighton Meester, they go to Paris. It's super cheesy, but cute, you know? But in that movie, Leighton Meester, when she is in Monte Carlo, is wearing this dress, this shirt dress. That is literally, to me, the most perfect shirt dress I have ever seen in my life. And the wormhole that I went down trying to find that shirt dress. Turns out it was custom made by the costume designer, which, you know, heartbreaking, but when I found this dress, that was the first thing that I thought of. And let me know if you know what I'm talking about, because I feel like I can't be the only person that was obsessed with that dress. Again, total guilty pleasure, girly stuff, but I just love this dress. Realizing that she's got a full stack of condiments here. We've got mustard, mayo, and ketchup, and now I want a cheeseburger. But three absolutely gorgeous dresses. I think the longest one in my inventory was about 3 months, and I think it was that yellow one. I think that only took as long as it did to sell is because I don't know if that's a big name brand. Zara, a lot of people know. Joie, a lot of people know. And I'll tell you, I had a ton of interest in that red dress and that white dress. So not surprising. So the total cost of the bundle was $158, and she sent through an offer at $124, which I did accept. Again, the longest piece that I had in inventory was that yellow dress, and that was for about 3 months. I believe the red dress was listed for about a month and a half, and then the white dress was listed for like 3 days. That kind of stuff from Zara sells super duper quickly. Anyway, with a grand total $4 cost at the bins, this brought me to a total profit of $95.20. And I hope she absolutely adores these. Just some like gorgeous, classic, like eternally in style kind of dresses. Like nothing, there's no trend in here. This is just all classic and elegant. Also, take me to Amalfi if that's where you're going. Next up, I've got this pair of J. Jill pants. Now, these are just some khaki, like pull-on straight leg pants. And to be totally honest, this is something that I probably would not have picked up if they were not a tall length. So tall lengths in general are just kind of harder to find in general and on the secondhand market. So like when you think about a petite, right? Like there are two kind of sides of the length issue. With a petite, number one, petites are far more common. Like a lot more stores have petite sizes versus having tall lengths. And with a petite, and I know it's not a perfect solution because I understand that like proportion also comes into play here, but like in a pinch, a petite person can buy a regular sized garment and have it altered to like fit them. You can always take fabric off, you can't add it on unless you have like the original fabric with the amount of wear that you have. So anytime I see something in a tall length from a brand that I do like to shop and sell, I'm gonna pick that up. And even for things like a J. Crew, which I'm very, very selective with what I pick up from J. Crew, stuff like that, like if I do see like a tall length jean, I'm gonna pick that up. Just because girls who need those tall length items are just underserved in general on the retail marketplace, but even more so underserved in the resale marketplace. So I like to have them. Sometimes they sell incredibly quick, sometimes they sit for a while, but I know it is something that I like to have available whenever I can. So I had these listed for about 6 months. I had them listed for $28 and I got an offer for $24, which I did accept with a $1 cost of the bins. These brought me to a profit of $19.28. Next up here, we've got these fun pair of pants from Genora. These are vintage, and I still don't know what to call them. Muscle pants. To me, this is like the pants that you see the guy playing hacky sack at the quad in college wearing. I don't know the name for that. So crunchy and granola, bohemian, beach pants, muscle pants, whatever you want to call them, that's what these things are. And they were in like flawless condition and they were like a size extra large. I was pretty sure that just because of what they are and because they're vintage and because they're in great condition, that they'd be a pretty quick sale. It is a very specific item of clothing, but very specific isn't necessarily a bad thing when it is something that is in demand and just not many people make it. Also, they're just kind of funky. So I'll tell you, I had a lot of interest in these, primarily over on Depop, which I'm not at all surprised about. And I had them listed for $34, and I had them listed for about 2.5 months. Again, in that 2.5 months, I had so much interest, lots of offers that never like followed through on Depop. But ultimately, so I had them listed at $34 again for 2.5 months, and I got an offer for $28.90, which I did accept. With a $1 cost at the bins, these brought me to a profit of $23.06. I think the power just went out, guy. Oh, we're back. Anyway, I hope he loves them. They feel kind of like, you know, like daytime pajama pants, and I'm very here for that entire phrase. So the power just went out in my house and it's coming back up. So if you hear random beeps or sounds, that is like different devices coming back online. So apologies. Next up here, we've got this very cool piece. This is vintage Express, and this is from their Express Tricot line. Definitely 90s, little mock neck, cropped long sleeve shirt. This is the label you're looking for. I love showing the vintage Express labels. If you were around in that time, you're probably very familiar with what they look like, but I do love picking up vintage Express. Again, it's just one of those shops that were very heavily shopped at, so there is a nostalgia factor to vintage Express stuff, but also they were very much like the one step above fast fashion, so I pick up most of the vintage Express things that I find, as long as they're in good condition. And sometimes you can find like the nice silk pieces, those fly out of my closet. If you can ever find the old, this was such like a very distinct time and place, like 2004, 2005, the silk lace trimmed camisoles that you would wear like a shrug over, usually those shrugs that like tied in the middle. I mean, I literally have a picture of my senior year spring break trip to Greece, and me and my friend are both wearing that exact same combination of things. Low-rise, flare jeans, lace-trimmed camis, and fuzzy shrug camisoles that tied in the middle. It was a whole vibe. Anyway, if you can find those, especially if you can find the ones that are actually silk, not like the polyester satin ones, they will be in and out of your closet in like minutes. I don't think a lot of them lasted because they're silk. It's a more delicate fabric. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with how to store silk for the long run, chances are it's gonna get moths or it's gonna disintegrate. But either way, I had this listed for about 6 months, and I had it listed for $32 and it popped through as a full price sale. So there you go. With a $1 cost of the bin, this brought me to a profit of $24.60. I hope she loves it. I mean, I love these vintage Express pieces. Just one of my favorite brands to find. Next up is this super cute t-shirt dress from Eileen Fisher in this really pretty like mushroom taupe color. Eileen Fisher, I tend to like, I've been picking up less and less of their like small sizes. And this is a small petite. But it is Eileen Fisher, and this probably retailed for like $200. It's so expensive. And this is just a great everyday little throw on and go dress. And who doesn't love a t-shirt dress? The t-shirt dresses are one of my like go-to, I gotta leave the house and run errands, outfits for the summer, right? I'm a big fan of a one-piece wonder. Anyway, I had this guy listed for about 4 months, and I had it listed for $26. Just a little cotton t-shirt dress. So nothing, no silk, no wools. When you get into those pieces, Eileen Fisher pieces can get a lot more expensive. But I had it listed for $26, got an offer for $20, which I did accept. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $15.74. Hope she loves it. Again, just a great little everyday, super easy to wear piece. Oh, next up, this is kind of funny. So this is a little Madewell shirt. Little like seafoam green, lettuce trimmed, cropped turtleneck. And to be totally honest, when I picked this up, I had all intentions of bringing this to buy, sell, trade because it's pretty new. But then I looked online and like sold comps for this were, sitting at like $18 to $20, and there were quite a few sold. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe what I'll do is list it, see, if I can get a decent price for it. And when it comes up for relisting in 60 days, if it hasn't sold, I'll pull it out of inventory and take it over to buy, sell, trade. And it's sold. So there you go. That might be a good little system if you have stuff that you think might be viable in like both outlets. If you would rather, especially if you're sourcing at a higher dollar amount, if you would rather sell at the higher dollar amount, and who wouldn't, maybe that's what you do. You see if you can sell it in that first 2 months. If not, you pull it out of stock and you take it over to the buy, sell, trade. Anyway, I had this listed for just 3 weeks. So there you go. I had it listed for $24 and an offer popped through for $20, which I did accept. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $15 even. Hope she loves it. It is a cute little top, a good like transitional piece between like winter and spring. It's a turtleneck, but it's still really like lightweight. Next up, oh, this fun little vintage piece. This is from Robert's stock. Clearly from the 90s. This is like 100% silk, this cute like stamped print. I will pick these shirts up anytime I see them. These are the kind of things that sell really well for me over on Depop. They also sell really well for me on eBay these days, these kind of like vintage men's shirts. Not so much on Poshmark, but this was in really great condition, size medium, and again, 100% silk. Like it's so lightweight that it's almost hard to fold. But these are the kind of things I like to pick up because again, like find another. These things are like a finite supply and every one that gets destroyed, that's one less that exists in the world, period, like forever. So whenever I see these kind of things in the bins, especially things that are silk, in great condition, it's like I'm morally obligated to pick them up, you know? Maybe that's just me. Let me know, do you pick this kind of stuff up? I'm interested. I know that this is something that I do, and I know it's something that I talk a lot about, but like, is this something that you pick up as well? So anyway, I had this listed for $32 for 3 months. That is about how long these kind of tops generally take to sell. They're a specific buyer, so in general, they're not gonna be super duper quick sellers. I had it listed for 3 months at $32, got an offer for $26, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $21.68. I hope he loves it. Such a fun little shirt, light as a feather. And finally, now this was something I picked up. I didn't know the brand. This is Robert Geller. These are a pair of sweatpants that I picked up and they literally sold in like 2 hours. So these are kind of like French terry, but the terry is on the outside. You can kind of see that. The big thing is like Robert Geller's super expensive brand. This is from his Seconds line. I think the Robert Geller like main line is more like coats and tailored wear, and then Seconds is more like, you know, kind of athletic wear, easy wear type stuff, lounge wear. And I had never found it before. It was really, really nice. The textiles were gorgeous. This is like made in Japan. So anytime I see made in Japan, my ears are perked up. The only downside was these did not have a drawstring, and I fished. I thought I felt one in there, I did not. If you are a reseller and you don't have a little drawstring tool, you should absolutely pick one up. They're like a couple bucks on Amazon if you don't have a fabric store nearby. I will link one down below. Like if you sell loungewear or anything like that, like you should have a drawstring tool in your kit. And they have saved so many pairs of pants for me. So anyway, I had these listed again, just for hours. Like I think I listed them at 8 o'clock at night and they sold at like 11. And I had them listed for $34. Again, if they had the drawstring, I probably would have asked a little bit more. But I got an offer for $28.50, which I gladly accepted with a $2 cost of the bins. This brought me to a profit of $23.71. Hope he absolutely loves them. Those are like luxury loungewear. But that is it, guys. That is the shipment for today. Thank you so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. I hope you guys had a busier weekend than I did. Again, it was pretty slow. Again, on the heels of an absolutely incredible weekend. So that is just the way that this business goes sometimes. You're flying and sometimes you're slow, and with careful planning and careful like monetary management, you can even it out for yourself. But thank you again, guys, for hanging with me. If you had fun, please consider leaving a like or a comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. If you ever have any kind of content that you'd like to see me do, don't ever hesitate to put it in the comments down below. But without further ado, guys, I've got to get these things over to the post office. I want you to have the most beautiful weekend. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.